What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 15 of Quoted by Tiff. Hey, y'all. I haven't uploaded in a while. I actually just been busy with my business and whatnot. But now that I have that squared away and I have a little help with my business, so I don't have to do as much as I was. I am free to record my content now. So today I'm going to talk about, well, first off, it is October, so it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So today, I'm going to actually tell my domestic violence story in hopes that it would inspire other women to kind of escape their situation, and I'm a very transparent person. There's generally nothing that I won't talk about it, especially when it comes to my journey and how I overcame certain things. And this is one of them. I think that a lot more women should tell their stories because that would probably merit a lot of people to walk away from these situations that they're in. So I hope you guys find my story inspiring. I know a lot of people be wanting the tea, so even if you listen to it, even if you listening to it just to try to get the tea on me or whatever, I don't care. As long as you listen and as long as it brings awareness to domestic violence and how dangerous it is to women, especially when you have kids. So I'm glad to be telling my story, and yeah, let's get it popping. Okay, so my story. Okay, so my kid's dad, I met him, I believe I was maybe 16, 17 years old. I think I was 17 though. Don't remember, so long ago, but I met him back then. I met him actually through, okay, so I was friends with somebody and I was asking my friend who he was because that was his friend. So we actually met through a friend. We ended up exchanging numbers. Well, I gave him my number. I told my friend to go give him my number. And we started talking. And it was cool at first, This was back in like 2006, I believe. And it was cool at first. He was older than me. Not by that much. Maybe like 2-3 years older than me, I think. And because I'm 35 now. So I think he's about to be... Next year, he's going to be 39, and next year, I'm going to be 36. So 3 years, maybe. And y'all, he a Gemini, if that means anything. Yes, Gemini. But anyway, we met, we hit it off. It was all good at first. And, I'm young. He has his own apartment, own car. I'm thinking like, oh, jackpot. I don't have to be at home. I have somewhere where I can escape to, whatever. Now, in the beginning, I did see that he drank a lot, but again, y'all, I'm young. And I think what people forget to understand is when you're young, you make different decisions than when you were older. That's why sometimes I don't hold people to the decisions that they make when they're younger because, again, scientifically, the decision-making part of your brain is not finished developing until you're about 24 to 25 years old. I'm not making an excuse, but at the end of the day, sometimes we just make stupid decisions. We don't think about the things we do. We don't even think about red flags. Back then, I didn't know what was important when it came to relationships and meeting somebody. So I'm thinking something shiny, material stuff is like, okay, yeah, he have this, he have that, so I'm good. I was wrong. So this man drank so much. And I didn't realize it in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? He actually gave me my first drink. Because I had not ever drank anything. And he actually gave me my first drink. But that's neither here nor there. He drank a lot, smoked cigarettes and stuff like that. And I don't judge nobody by the shit that they do because you do whatever you do. That's you, that's your life. Those are your decisions. However, it started becoming a problem when he would drink and he would start acting kind of obnoxious. First, it started out as yelling, acting obnoxious, being loud, and then it started turning into something else. I remember one specific time when I first realized that he was abusive. This was before we had kids together. And looking back, I think that was my red flag. That was my red flag or my sign to run, but I didn't. So he was drinking. I will never forget. He was drinking Paul Masson. And we was at my mom's house, and like I said, when he started drinking, he started getting real belligerent, just talking crazy, just angry for no reason, just angry. I ain't never seen nobody just so angry for no reason. And he just started getting angry. So anything I say irritated him. This was the first time that he got abusive with me. I was at my mama's house. I was ironing clothes or whatever. As a matter of fact, I was ironing his clothes to go to work. I was ironing his clothes. And he was drinking. And mind you, he was about to go to work and he was drinking. And so, ironing his clothes, he said something. I don't even remember the exchange. But all of a sudden, he got up and he was like, well, I'm going to be respected and I'm going to do this. And me personally, back then, the way I am now, I wasn't like that back then. I was very quiet back then. So a lot of times I would try to keep the peace. And so I would just let him get his little rant out, because I know sometimes you just got to let people talk. But he didn't want that. It was like he wanted me to kind of match his energy, get belligerent. And when I didn't, he got mad. So he ended up punching me in the face. So I was like, okay, it's cool. You know, I kept telling him, like, you need to leave. You need to go. You doing all this extra stuff. And he didn't. He just kept going. So then when I walked away, I walked out of my mama's back door. I walked away and walked into the parking lot, and he unplugged the iron and was chasing me with the iron, y'all. He was really about to burn me in my face with that iron. He threw it at me, but luckily I moved out the way and it just missed my face. And that was when I knew that man was dangerous. But again, me being young, I didn't realize the severity of the situation, so I kept going. This was in 2006. So it was few and far between. We ended up getting into a car accident. And I'm going to tell y'all, we got into a car accident because he was angry at me, let go of the wheel, ran the light, and damn near tried to kill both of us. That man was crazy. And looking back, I had so many times to where it was like, Tiffany, go. Tiffany, go. And I didn't. So that next year on my birthday, I ended up getting pregnant with my son, who's now 16 years old. And it got so much worse after that. Like the abuse just got very bad after that. I remember one particular time when I was pregnant with my son. I think I was living with my aunt. She's now passed away. Rest in peace, Aunt Diddy. But I was living with my aunt. He came over there and we were supposed to go somewhere, right? And so I was about to get in the car to go, and he didn't want me to go. He was drinking. Again, he was drinking. And I'm walking to try to go and get on the passenger side of the car. I walk behind the car. This man put it in reverse and hit me with the car. Granted, it wasn't that fast, but I did have to spend a night in the hospital. I was pregnant with my son. I don't remember how many months. I think it was maybe like 5 months I was pregnant with him. I had to spend a night in the hospital. There are records of that. That man hit me with a car because he was drunk, belligerent. When he is drunk, he don't want to listen. He don't want to listen to nobody. He just go crazy. And that was another one of my signs. But did I leave? No, I didn't. I stayed. There was another time I was pregnant with my son. I was 7 months. This was probably like 2 or 3 months later. I was at my mom's house. I was in the shower. This man beat me up so bad in that shower. When I tell you he beat me up, he knocked my back tooth out. I had to go to the dentist and get it repaired. He bloodied my nose. He did a lot of stuff to me in the shower. I couldn't even move. And you know what the crazy part is? Nobody in my family said anything, batted an eye, did nothing. We could have jumped his ass, but they didn't. And I'm not blaming them. It was my responsibility to get away from him. But then again, it's no way that I could sit there and let somebody do that to my family member. I just can't. That's just not me. If I seen my kids going through something like that, that person gonna be grass. I ain't lying. But anyway, I didn't go to the hospital, but I was very beat up. So I couldn't go to work. You know what I'm saying? I done took off 2-3 days of work because I'm hurt. You know, my body in pain. He didn't beat the hell out of me in the shower. And looking back on that, was another sign for me to go, but I didn't. Fast forward, y'all. I ended up having my son. The abuse continued. I ended up having my daughter. The abuse continued. I say around the time when my son was 5 and my daughter was 4. Well, no, my son was 6. My daughter was 5 because my kids are 1 year apart. This was the last straw. We ended up getting into a really bad fight. This man then busted my door down because I wouldn't let him come, because I don't like nobody being drunk or belligerent around my kids. Like, no, you're not about to do that. So it was one day, the next day, after he had been belligerent and everything, I told him in my most calm voice, I said, you gotta go. And I said, you gotta pack your stuff and you gotta go. This is crazy. I'm not going to keep dealing with this. And even though in my mind, it's my trauma talking, I didn't grow up with my dad. So I'm thinking, damn, I want my kids to grow up with their dad. And now I'm putting him out. And granted, y'all, I'm going to be honest, and I'm not down talking nobody. Like I said, I'm transparent and I'm real. That man didn't pay not a one bill in none of those apartments. I was the breadwinner in that relationship. And it's like he would tell people, it's like this is one tactic that abusers use. They'll try to make everybody like hate you or look at you in a certain way. So if you try to go for help, they won't believe you. That was one of the tactics that he did with his family, which is why my kids are not close to his family right now, because he done told lies and they believed him. And that my kids are not close to them at all. My kids don't even know their uncles. He got I think he got three brothers. My kids barely know their uncles. My kids barely know their auntie. And I don't like his sister. I have my reasons for not liking people in his family. I especially don't like his sister because of something that she did. And I try to keep my kids away from drama, and they don't reach out, so I don't reach out. That's just how I go. I know how to handle my own. And I've learned that since I've left that relationship. But anyway, so y'all, surprisingly, we didn't get into no fight when I told him to leave and pack his stuff, right? He packed his stuff and he left. So how about this? I'm going to tell y'all how karma works. God do not play about me, y'all. God don't play about me at all. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Okay, y'all. So God don't play about me. No, okay, I was wondering why when I told him to leave, he just so easily left, because usually he put up a fight. Because again, I was paying all the bills. He didn't even have no job. Y'all, I can't believe that I even put up with that. When I look back on that shit, I'll be so embarrassed of myself, but I'm not embarrassed. You know why? Because I was in love. And sometimes love be having you put up with some crazy, crazy shit, But look, he didn't even get put up a fight when I told him to leave. He put up a little fight, but not really. Come to find out, he had been talking to this girl on Facebook. She had 5 kids, y'all. And I'm not knocking nobody that have a lot of kids, but I said 5 kids to give y'all a little context. He only has 2 that I know of. So he goes to go live with her at her house. Just met her on Facebook, just met her on social media, just a random motherfucker he met on social media. And went over there, and then when he got over there, he started going to football games and stuff with the kid, with her kids and stuff like that. And I'm thinking in my mind, you're doing all of that, but I have to beg and plead you to get up and feed the kids while I'm at work because you're too drunk the next morning to get up and do what you need to do for your kids. So I started getting real mad, as anybody would. I'm not finna apologize for my emotions. Anybody would get upset in that situation. So I started getting upset. I would call him and ask him to do certain stuff. He wouldn't. He'd be like, I'm all the way in Arlington. I'm all the way here, because she lived in Arlington. I ain't even gonna say the girl name because she kind of did me a favor, getting him out of my hair. But he went over there, right? He started trying to do that same abusive stuff with her, and she wasn't having it. One thing I do know about the girl, she is Scorpio. So he called me one day, and he was like, he was trying to show out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he called me for. Like, I'm finna do something. I don't care. I'm just glad you're not in my house. So he called me one day, fussing and fighting, talking about, oh, she left her son backpack in my car. I'm coming to bring the backpack or whatever. So he got me on the phone while he there. I don't know why he did this. Put the phone in his pocket, right? He go in the house. This not funny, y'all, because this is my kid's dad. And I'm trying not to laugh at this, but I do know that God don't play about me. So he put the phone in his pocket, I'm assuming he walking in the house. I hear a muffled argument. They're having an argument. I hear a scuffle. I don't know if y'all ever been on the phone when people been fighting, but it was like a scuffle. I could hear them fighting, right? So I guess she ended up, they was in the kitchen because I heard a lot of like utensils rambling. So I heard that much. So I guess he ended up hitting her because I heard it. And I heard her like kind of say something after he did it. And then all I heard was a shing, like she pulled the knife out. And she stabbed this man 3 times in his back and 2 times in his chest, y'all. I'm sorry, 3 times. I think it was 3 times in the chest and 2 times in the back. Stabbed this man cold. And I guess he fell to the ground and the phone fell out. And I guess she seen that I was on the phone with him. So she picked up the phone. She said, yeah, you need to come get your baby daddy off my floor. He bleeding like a stuck pig. And she threw the phone down. So I don't know if he was drunk. I don't know the whole situation. I heard it from the phone. And so he picked up the phone and he said, well, you need to call 911. I said, I don't even know where you at. You know, he give me the address where he at. And then mind you, he's in Arlington. I'm in Dallas. So I'm like, how am I going to call the 911? They's going to direct me to Dallas. So I didn't have to Google the Arlington 911. I didn't have to do a lot. So I ended up getting on the phone with him, giving him the address, telling him where he was. And I told him, I said, you know, they on their way. I told him where you were. You in the highway. You down. You bleeding. So why when the police came, the girl then told the police that he wasn't there and he ran. Mind you, I was still on the phone because I told him I'm going to stay until they get there. Stay on the phone until they get there. Why this girl then told the police that he wasn't there? She was finna let that man die on that floor. I don't know if she didn't know that I was still on the phone with him or whatever. And I asked him after like 15 minutes, I was like, they not there yet? And he was like, nah. So I called the Arlington 911 back and I told him, I said, he's still in that house and nobody came. She done told them that he wasn't there. He was going to die on that floor if it was not for me. I done still saved him. After everything he did to me, I still saved this man. But I already knew after that situation that I need to leave him alone permanently. And that's what I did. That was his karma. And he's continuing to have karma because even after that happened, he still was not being a father that he should be to the kids. He still continued drinking. He still continued doing all the things that he's doing. But myself, I moved on. As a woman, I already knew, you know, it's going to be hard, but I'm finna move on and I'm finna leave this man alone. It was hard at first. It's a little bit easy now, I ain't gonna lie. But back then it was hard because they were small. I told my story to tell you guys this. One day, you got to say enough is enough. One day, you have to choose yourself. When you have kids, you have to choose yourself. You have to choose your happiness. You have to choose your peace. There is no amount of love that's supposed to hurt. Love, I don't care what society say. Love is not supposed to hurt. It's not. And I realize now that I was in love with him, but he wasn't in love with me. That man hated me. I don't know why he hated me. I have my suspicions of why he hated me, but he hated me. He didn't love me. I loved him. And I hope that this story brings some awareness to domestic violence and how my story is one of triumph. I went on, I left him alone. You know, I struggled for a few years, but after that, I ended up getting my education. I ended up getting my bachelor's. Now I'm in my master's program. I opened up a business. Just a lot of things have changed in my life since I chose myself. And I want other women to choose yourself. If you are watching this and you are in a domestic violence situation, get out now. There are resources that you can take advantage of that will help you leave that situation. You don't have to sit there and deal with that. You don't have to sit there and subject your kids to that. Leave it alone. It's not worth it. Trust me, it's not. I wasted 6 to 7 years of my life trying to love a man that didn't love me. He hated me. Don't let it get that far. Leave. As soon as somebody shows you mentally, emotionally, spiritually that they are abusive, you need to leave them alone. Okay, ladies. So, you've heard my story. I was one of the lucky ones. I got out. But there are so many women that do not make it out alive. This is not a game. Looking back on that man could have took my life. There were times where I thought that man was going to kill me. And me and my trauma about not wanting my kids to grow up without a father in their life and this and that kept me in that relationship. That's the only thing that kept me in a relationship, because it wasn't money. Because again, I was the breadwinner. It wasn't anything else outside of that. That was my trauma that I needed to deal with. And once I realized that, it was a wrap. And it did not matter if he was their father. It did not matter. All it mattered was I didn't want to subject my kids to that. And if you got anything from this video, I just hope you got leave. I don't care what the circumstances are. God will make a way for you. The universe has a funny way of lining things up when you make the right decision. Just leave, y'all. It's not worth it. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my story. And I'm definitely going to come on again and do a part 2 maybe sometime this week. But if you tuned into this, just know, love yourself enough to make the right decision to leave that man or woman alone. Okay?